Welcome, everyone. Welcome today. Thank you for joining us this week for another installment of Ask Epic, where we meet once a week to discuss all things Epic. We want to provide new to Epic families and returning families a place to learn about all the opportunities we offer. And we're excited today because we have the dynamic duo with us, and we'll explain that a little bit later, who they are and what department they're a part of. My name is Carla Smitherman, and I'm with the Epic Development Team. But before we get started, we already have a question from Miss Shanita Moody. And I'm going to go ahead and ask the question, and I'm going to ask any of our guests to jump right in and answer. So the question from Miss Moody is, what is the process after the application? And I'm assuming she's meaning, and Shanita, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the enrollment application. How long does it take? So I'll let either of you, Jeff or Autumn, jump right on in there and answer that right now.
So if everything is correct in the application, we've got all of the documents we need, and we're not needing anything else from the parent. It typically is, I would say, 3 to 5 days is what we tell parents. Sometimes it's shorter, for that to be fully processed and get into our system. Once that's in our system, then it's assigned to a teacher. So a teacher gets the student on their roster, and then the teacher will reach out to you pretty soon after getting that student on their roster to set up a meeting. As long as we've got everything we need, it typically goes pretty smoothly.
All right, very good. That is a very common question. We hear it all the time. So thank you, Autumn. All right, Shani, I'll go ahead and let you go next.
Okay, so my name's Shawnee. I'm also from the Epic Development Team. We're just really happy to have customer experience with us today. And we are also going to share our information with you more than once. So if you would like to reach out to us, we will also give some information about customer experience. But if you would like to reach out to our team, we are at 405-749 4550, and our extension to our department is 489. We also have an email that comes straight to us. It's edt@epiccharterschools.org. So it's very long, but you can always it goes on the back of just about all of our emails that go to Epic Charter Schools. So it's great to be able to remember that. So we're going to be joined by two wonderful people today, Autumn and Iverson and Jeff Deginger with Epic. And I'm just going to let you all introduce yourself real quick and just give us a little bit about just a little snippet of what you do. And then we'll come back and do some more things.
Sounds good. So yeah, you're fine. I'm Jeff Deginger. I'm with the customer experience team here at Epic. I've been on the team for, it's getting closer to 3 years than 2.5 years now, but about 2.5 years. I've been a team lead for the last year with Autumn. We were the first 2 team leads on the team, so we have been here for a lot of different versions of the team and are excited to talk more about how it looks today and all that sort of thing.
And I'm Autumn Iverson. I've been with Epic it'll be 5 years in May, on the customer experience team from the very beginning. So I've seen a lot of changes and developments, which is really exciting. And yeah, I'm a team lead, and we do a lot of things. Do a whole lot of things.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. We do have Epic really recognizes that we have so many things to offer, and sometimes that gets a little overwhelming. So it just helps us to maybe break down the different departments that we have a little bit to help everyone kind of understand what it is that every department kind of it just does on its own. And so we're just really happy that you all are here today. And I think that Carla is going to start off with a couple of things that she's going to ask you about tips.
I am. But before we get started, Shani, we have a question from Fawn to our panelists. And thank you all for keeping those who are watching us right now for continuing on with those questions. So keep them coming. So either Autumn or Jeff can answer this question. With high school transcripts and testing, it says you will contact the school, but it also asks me to upload it. Do I need to upload or let school and Epic do that part? So Autumn or Jeff, whichever one of you want to answer that one.
Yeah, I can answer. So that is something that we can request. Now, we only request the records once you're already in and established as a student of Epic. So it can sometimes be faster to provide a transcript to us than to let the registrars request it from the old school. But either way, we're going to get those records and get your student started where they need to be.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And oh, Fawn said, thank you, Jeff. So we appreciate you responding so quickly. And thank you, Fawn, for asking that question. That is a very good question. Okay, so moving on to our tips. Yes, every week we like to ask our guests if they have something special that they could offer to our Epic families on tips to success. So, Jeff, I'll start with you. Give us a tip. What are your best tips that can offer to our families on how to be successful with Epic?
Sure. I think the key thing to remember with Epic is that it's quite different than some other school programs you might have gone to. There's definitely like a bit of a learning curve with Epic. So it will take time to get used to like where to communicate, how to communicate with the different professionals you're connected with.
That is a really good one. It is a extreme learning curve. Coming from brick and mortar to Epic, you're thinking, oh, it's school, right? Well, yes, it is. It is a lot different. Learning how to take advantage of some of the discipline and all the different approaches that we have. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Jeff. How about you, Autumn?
I'm gonna kind of piggyback on that, that it is a very different program. So just have patience with yourself and know that it takes some time to fully understand the program, how it works for students and parents both, to really understand how things are working. Ask questions, use the resources, call us, talk to your teacher, be in constant communication, and just be patient and know that it will all click. It just takes a little bit of time.
Okay, that's a great one as well. All right. Patience is a virtue with Epic, right? You can't learn everything the first week or the first day. Okay. Well, thank you so much. All right, Shawnee, it's your turn.
All right. So, as you can already tell, customer service wears many hats within Epic. They do so much more than just answer the calls for parents and help with logins. They're very resourceful. They're engaging as problem solvers, willing to be patient and listen, which we've learned that very well. Our customer service department is highly skilled professionals who serve our Epic community, navigating the many facets of Epic life. The virtual world can be very overwhelming, tedious, but it's also rewarding. Thanks to the departments like customer service, our families are not alone. And I really do mean that. That is a huge part of Epic, is for people to be able to reach out and ask those questions, and for you all to be very knowledgeable and know the answers to those questions or be able to find those out. So I just really am glad that you all are here today.
Yeah, I am too, Shawnee. I think Shawnee and I both taught school for Epic, and I think I can't tell you how many times my families would say, I couldn't reach you, so I just called customer service. So I was like, yes, thank you, customer service, right? So anyway, so let me go ahead and ask this question to one of you all. Tell me about our customer service department. What sets our customer service department aside at Epic?
Yeah, so our customer experience team, that's the faces that you see at any of the microsites you go to, any of the front desks that you interact with. If you call that main line and don't enter any extensions, that's us. As well as if you're in the chats on the website or anything like that. So anytime that you're making contact with just Epic as a body to get assistance with the problem, that's who you're getting. And what I think really makes us like different than like what you would expect from like maybe like a brick and mortar receptionist at a front desk type of job is that aside from just doing that, we're also running these microsites for people. We are community outreach. We are a face that everybody gets familiar with, the teachers, the students, the families. And we're not just trained like in that aspect, like we're also specializing into different departments. We're also learning how to solve more complex problems on a regular basis. We're expanding what we can do as a team to help as many families at the first stop that they get to without having to constantly send them to other people to get their problem solved. We want to be able to do as much as we can as soon as you contact us.
I like that. I think that's what you've really answered the next question as well. So that's pretty much what you consider the vision, is that we are establishing connection with our families, right? And continuously taking care of them and taking care of their needs. So what do you think is some of the biggest challenges that you face? I know I'm just kind of putting that into you. What is one of your challenges that you feel?
Well, I think that one of the things that we work really hard with all of our team on, to train on and to learn, is that we have different. If you ask us what is our most, like the most asked question, we can't tell you. We have different questions every single time we talk to someone. Every conversation we have, every ticket, every interaction is going to be something different. So kind of pivoting and making sure that we're giving you the right information. That is something that we work really hard on, and I mean, I like that type of work, but I know it can also be a little challenging to go from, one issue to another and bounce around. That would be something that I think could be challenging.
Okay, that sounds good. I know I will say, watching you all work sometimes, if I had a picture of a meme sometimes with the head coming off, but you all do seem to do it with just such calmness. So we appreciate you all so much for that. And thank you, definitely. So anyway, let's see. Like, I think I already asked the question, but so what makes our customer service department different and so valuable? I just want to kind of ask that question to you, Jeff.
Yeah. So I kind of touched on a little bit, but like, since we are like cross-trained with other departments, I think it makes us a little more valuable as far as like phone communication, chat communications. Like if you're calling and you have a problem with enrollment, we have a certain set of our team that's specialized in helping with that. Or if you're calling about a records request, there's a certain section of our team that's specialized in helping with that. So I think that kind of fulfills kind of the answer there for you.
Okay, very good, outstanding. So is there anything else you'd like to add about the vision? Do you feel like you've kind of answered that already? I mean, I think you did a great job earlier of kind of expressing it about the connection and how we set ourselves aside. I do agree with you, because when you said that earlier, it does make sense, because I know when I first started with Epic, I know there was a person behind that voice with Epic versus just, hello, I'm with Epic. I mean, and it felt so real. It felt like there was a real human being and a person that truly cared about what my concerns were. So I hope that and I know that our families feel that way. So yeah.
Yeah. If I could summarize it just in a way of saying, really kind of the purpose is just take care of our families in the most efficient way that we can. Sometimes like the solution to a problem is a really easy fix, but it's locked behind a couple layers of transferring or getting to the right contact or something. If we can take that information and have it available here up front, that's the kind of stuff that we like to do. We like to be able to just be like, oh, well, what you're going to do is this, instead of being like, well, hold on, let me transfer you a couple times. Let me get the right answer. That sort of stuff.
Outstanding. Excellent.
We have a couple of questions, but I'm gonna hang on for a second before we answer those. While we are talking about that, Jeff just mentioned something about the different departments now inside of customer service. So I'm going to have Autumn expand on that just a little bit. You all just recently went through an expansion in your department. So would you like to just give us a little bit of information on what that looks like and why that change happened?
Yeah, so we're still in the middle of it. We're still in the process of expanding and getting everything in place. It's a really exciting time for us. One of the things that we were running into, and one of the things that we've wanted to work on, is to better serve our families, have more specialized service up front. And so what we're doing, you're going to hear tier 1, tier 2, things like that. we're gonna have a group of operators that they answer the phone and figure out exactly what's going on and get you to the specialized team within customer experience. So say someone calls and they have a learning fund question, or you've got a records request, instead of sending you straight to that department, there's going to be a certain number of things that our team can help with first. So they're going to come to the tier 1 team of customer experience, and we're going to help with those, I'm going to say, kind of more basic things that we can do. This allows our departments to focus more on specialized things, escalations, getting those records requests processed, getting applications processed, getting learning fund orders processed, and it kind of takes some of that off of them so that we can answer those questions up front. And so, yeah, the goal is to get parents, families taken care of more efficiently, and you're going to call and not have to leave a voicemail. One of the things that is really exciting that we've already seen is that in January, we, I think it was like 4,300 calls that we took about in January, and only 27% of those were transferred. So almost 75% of calls were resolved, or we got the answers to the families up front, which is something we're very excited about. That's what we want to happen.
That is
Oh,
exciting.
absolutely. Yeah, I think
exciting.
that when people call, they do want you to answer, and
Yeah.
they want you to answer, and they want you to be knowledgeable. And I think having this expansion with kind of, I guess I would say, like little mini departments within your department that are more specialized, so that you
Right.
don't have to make those transferred calls or send an email to Learning Fund. If you all can answer those questions that are kind of like the easier questions that come in, without having to transfer them, then our caregivers get the information they need right away, and they don't have to wait, which is fantastic.
Amazing.
So
Yes.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, Shawnee, we have 2 questions more, so we are ready and able to answer those. So let me read those to you all, and either one of you can handle it. Let's see. It says, after 2 weeks, my child was finally released from the high school she was in. Will this affect my child in any way? And what does my child do during the application process? Does anybody want to try that one?
So as far as what to do during the application process, that application process it doesn't take too long. So it is just a kind of transition period waiting. Once the student is enrolled with us and assigned to a teacher, that teacher is going to reach out and have a meeting with you. And this is a really, really good time to talk to the teacher about the situation, talk about what grade, what courses are transferring over, what credits are transferring over, because the teacher is going to be able to look at each individual student and see exactly what that student needs. Will it affect the student in any way? I think it really depends on where credits lie and things like that. But that teacher is going to be able to kind of customize the program so that we'll be able to get the student up to speed in a reasonable way, so that it's not super overwhelming, but also getting them everything that they need. Don't know if that fully answers that.
No, I think that's well said. I was going to say, Shanita, what we might do is in the end, we can put our email. I think Shawnee's already mentioned it once, in the chat box. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we can forward your information either to Autumn, or we'll make sure we get it to the appropriate person, right? To make sure we can get your question answered prior to you enrolling with Epic, because we want to make sure that we understand fully. But Autumn did a great job of answering that. Thank you, Autumn. Okay, so here's our next one. It is from Fawn. Okay, thank you, Shawnee. Shawnee put our email address in the chat box for you, Shanita, if you feel like you need any further questions, okay? Okay, so Fawn, since we are joining so late in the year, how hard is it going to be to make sure my high school junior gets the appropriate classes and work done to finish the 2023-24 school year? And is Epic a 365-day school year, or does it follow traditional school year with summer off, or do we determine this ourselves? I think any of us can answer that one, but I'll go ahead and let our guests, either one of you, can start with those.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, depending on the situation and what's been completed, it'll be a bigger conversation once enrolled with the actual teacher. But on the surface level, you're going to figure out a time frame of what credits can be earned in the rest of the school year, and focused primarily on those. There are, to answer the other question real quick, so we can answer the first one in more detail. EPIC is just the traditional school year. So it's just from August to May to get coursework done. There's not general summer programs that are available that are focused on catching up credits or anything like that. So most of the schoolwork will have to be done during the normal school year. But as we were kind of saying to the last question, once you talk to the teacher, once you say what your needs are, once you say what your goals are, they will work with you as a family and with your student on what can be done, how much the workload should be, and get it customized to whatever your goals are going to be for the remainder of the school year, and where to start when we come back for next school year as well.
Oops, that's outstanding, Jeff. Great job. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So Fawn agreed with me. She said, perfect. Thank you. So, okay. So did you ask all the questions you had, Shani?
I did for now.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm going to move on to my question then. My next question is, if I'm new to EPIC, which it sounds like we have some new to EPIC families that are on with us right now, what should I go to, or where should I go to for other resources for information? Any one of you all can answer that question for me.
Yeah, so we have a ton of resources for you. I think the first thing that we always tell parents, caregivers, is to be in contact with your teacher. And there's going to be questions about curriculum, about grade level, about actual coursework. The teacher is going to be able to answer those things. And if the teacher is unable to answer it, or maybe you're not able to reach the teacher right away and you have other questions, give us a call. Call that main number, 405-749-4550. Our team is going to be the ones that answer that. We will either be able to get you the answer or tell you where you can get that answer. So we've got a lot of avenues of resources, and it's going to be a little different than a traditional school because of the models. So definitely reach out to us. One of the other really cool things that we have are called EPATs. These are going to be EPIC parents as teachers. They're actual employees with us, but they are employees that have students themselves, and their whole job is to help new families navigate the program. So they do some really cool things. And so if you have questions about that or need to know how to contact them, then feel free to call that main number, and we will get you in contact with them, because I think it's a really, really cool thing that they do as well.
Thank you for bringing the EPAT program up, because that is an outstanding new program we started this year. And I think I've had so many positive experiences. I spoke to new families, and they've talked about how this new great experience they've had with a family from EPIC who's been around for a while, and they've helped them navigate some challenging situations and just encourage them. So we're real happy about the EPATs this year and hope that continues, right? So good. Thank you. Okay, so all righty, next question. What do I need to enroll? Anybody want to start on that one? What do I need to enroll?
So
We are still getting enrollment, right?
Yeah.
We can all say that for sure.
yeah, the enrollment application is online, and it takes, I would say, depending on how quickly you move through the questions, 15 to 20 minutes to complete the application. You will need the student's birth certificate, immunization records, and proof of residency. That's going to be something within the last, I think, 2 months. Showing your address. We need to have a date listed on it, and your name and address. Also, if you have a guardianship, if there's a difference in guardianship, so maybe you've got guardianship of a kiddo, we'll need a copy of that guardianship paperwork as well. There is a place on there to upload SPED records and transcripts. As someone asked earlier, it's not required to upload that. If you have it, that's awesome, but if you don't, it's not going to stop your application.
Okay, very good, very good. And we know that this was getting ready for the new enrollment coming in 24, 25. We're excited about that coming up real soon, right? And we're going to be excited to have information about that hopefully really soon. And we are still enrolling for 23 this school year. So yes, all righty. Okay, so anything else you want to add? So far, I know we've tried to do a good job of explaining your department so far and explaining what you all do. I don't know if there's any way that we could have done a decent job in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And I know Shawnee still has some other questions, but is there anything that you can think of so far, either of you, that we can add so far before Shawnee gets started on any other questions?
Yeah, I think just a blanket statement. We have we're connected to most things that are going on as far as the knowledge of different programs and different departments. We have our hands in a lot of things so that we can better serve our families. So if you have questions about something, reach out. We are more than happy to help. That's our goal. And so if you ask what we do, like we've said several times, it's a lot. You can't really explain it all, but overall, if you have a question, we want to answer it for you. So that's what we do.
Yeah, I've noticed that whenever you mentioned earlier about the resources and the information that you have, I noticed that a lot of times this information could even be on our website, but maybe they just don't have the understanding of how to use the website or where it's at. And so just even that simple phone call to you all to say, I have this question, and you can direct them to the exact place that they need to go to. So sometimes those resources are there. They're just a little harder to find, and you all can really help determine where those caregivers can go to find those resources. Another thing I was going to mention is that we were just talking about what you would need to enroll. So if you are new to Epic, you would need those documents. If you are going to re-enroll because you're returning to Epic, would you still need all those same documents?
So you would definitely, sorry.
No, you go.
Okay. If we still have on record something like a birth certificate, that can definitely be used. Shot records is very dependent. If you were with us before 7th grade and are coming back after 7th grade, we're going to need an updated shot record to show those 12-year-old shots that everybody has to get. Or if you are a family that uses the immunization waiver, we have to have another new waiver signed to include those shots as well. And then the proof of residency has to be recent. So even if you were re-enrolling in the same year through like our reentry form or something, we typically ask for a new one of those so that we have something on file with the current address and the current contact for the student.
Okay, that's great. I think so. Shanita has another question. I might actually be able to answer this question, but if we need some help, let's see what happens here. So Shanita says that she has she wanted to know if her child needs to do extra work to catch up from last semester since the student joined late in the year. Since I was a teacher, Carla was a teacher previously, we can kind of answer this question a little bit as well. So that is going to be dependent, as Jeff and Autumn actually mentioned a little bit ago, that where they were on their classes before they came to Epic. So that is something that you really will discuss with your teacher. You will find out where you were in those classes before you came to Epic. And if there is something that needs to be caught up, the teachers are going to work that plan out with you on how to get your student caught up to where they need to be in the program to earn their credits or to move to the next grade. The other part of that question, Shanita, was how do I know that this is the right decision? That is a loaded question. So I think with anything, I'm just going to give my 2 cents, and then I'm going to ask Autumn if you could give your 2 cents with this one. I know for me, when I get that question, how do I know this is the right decision? I think you have to give everything a fair chance. After you give everything a fair chance, you reach out to the teacher, you give everything some time to figure some things out and things like that. As a caregiver, you always you sit back and you reflect on what is working and what is not working, the pros and cons list, things like that. And then you try and work on that list. And if that list is something that is achievable, Autumn, do you think you could expand on that, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so when I get this question from parents and caregivers, I want to just really point out that the whole idea behind Epic is that school can be different and there's school choice, which means that this program works wonderfully for some kids and some it doesn't. And your kid, if if you think that if you hear about this program and it's like, oh, I don't think that that's gonna work at all, then I think as a parent and caregiver, you just think about the different programs that we have and if that's going to work. And we have, I mean, a ton of students that it works so great and they thrive here, whereas in traditional brick and mortar, they just don't do well. And then, we've got kids that parents get here and they say, it's just not right for my kid. And that is what we're here for. I mean, we are here so that there is a choice for kids. So how do you know if you've made the right decision? Only as a parent and caregiver can you choose that. I don't think we can really help with that. We can give you a lot of information, but we don't know your kid. So I would say, yeah, ask questions. Tell us what you want, what you need to know, and we will tell you as much as we know, and we'll do what we can to make this work for you and your kiddo.
Okay, yeah, that is great. That is, that's the slogan. School can be different, right? So we want to definitely give everybody a fair chance. We want everyone to have a choice in what they do with their education, and that is one of the things that we are really well known for. So that is great information. Okay, so here's some really good questions that everybody is probably just waiting to hear the answers for. So, what do I do if I can't get into my parent portal? What do we do?
There's a couple. Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
There's a couple different things. You can have your teacher submit a ticket. Also, there is a ticket that parents can submit on the website. You go to epiccharterschools.org and you're going to go to, I should have had this pulled up. I'm sorry. You go to the Learning Fund tab and tech support. And then there is there's a tech support form that you can fill out and it will send those tickets directly to us and we will assist you with getting that login information.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's great. So the next question that might be a good segue into that is, Jeff, where do we go for help with the Learning Fund? Do we go to the same place, or what happens with that? Because the Parent Portal and the Learning Fund, are they two different things?
Yeah, so they are two different things. Obviously, if you have access to your parent portal, you can access your Learning Fund that way. But if you're needing assistance with that program, the best thing to do in reality is to give us a call at the 405-749-4550 number, because depending on what you're having issues with, it can go a couple of different ways from there. So if there's technical problems, we've got people that deal with that. If it's just order problems or order updates or that sort of thing, we've got a team for that too. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Again, we have a lot of really good information on our website. Sometimes it's just hard to navigate where you need to go. So calling you all can really, really be beneficial just to get that directness of like, what do I do? All right. So the next question I have for you, we get this quite a bit in our department. So I have documents. I'm already enrolled, but I have documents that I forgot to share. What do I do with those documents and how do I send them to you?
we're gonna go back to calling us, and the reason I say that is because it really depends on which documents you have. If we're talking about just shot records and things like that, that's going to go to one place. If you're talking about guardianship documents, and that's going to go somewhere else. So the fastest way to get those answers and to know for sure that you're sending your documents to the correct email would be to give us a call, tell us what you have, and we'll tell you where those need to be sent.
So we keep talking about calling you all. Is that the only thing we can do is actually pick up the phone and call you? Because we are in a texting world
Yeah,
nowadays.
Yeah, so you
So
could, you could also get on our website and epiccharterschools.org. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little blue button and it says, "How can we help you?" Click on that, and that is our team. It is manned all day long, and so we can answer any questions there as well.
Okay, yeah, that's great because sometimes people are at work or things like that, and they can't really get on the phone and make an actual phone call, but they can kind of go back and forth with some texting, and that is a really good way. I know we as teachers, I referred a lot of parents to or caregivers to the website, to the
Yeah.
chat box there. So that is always a really good way, especially if you just have a quick question about something, you can get a really good answer, and it's all good and good to go. All right. So again, another question about my computer. We get this a lot too. You're in the middle of doing your homework and it starts glitching, or something's just not working. The power cord's not working. You can always call your teacher, but what else could they do?
Yeah, so there is another number for our tech support team specifically. Now, the customer experience team themselves are not the people who man the tech support team, so it is important to report those issues to our actual tech support team. But that number for them is 405-652-0935. And so whether it's a charger issue, as long as it's a hardware issue of some sort, that's the team that you want to contact.
Okay. All right. That's really good to know. Oh, thanks,
And-
Carla, for putting that in there. I was just thinking about that.
And I'm gonna say, just to clarify, Jeff said hardware this is gonna mean the actual computer. If you're talking a software issue, they're not gonna be able to assist with that. So really, the best thing to do is reach out to your teacher so that they can alert us to what the actual issue is, where the software is going wrong, and get us the information we need to fix that.
Okay. All right. So our customer, as we said, you all had really expanded, which means that we've added more people to your department. But we also, one of the reasons why is because we have expanded our microsites and different things like that. I'm not sure that everyone understands what a microsite is. So maybe in this next question, we could address that with what is a microsite and where are they located?
A microsite is a location where our teachers can meet with their students. We have our schoolhouse model. We'll meet there, one-on-one teachers. So you've got your online teachers will do their weekly meetings or whatever. In-person meeting will be there. We do have a customer experience person at those sites to help answer questions and kind of direct things going on in the building. And there's 15 throughout Oklahoma right now, and we're growing. The goal is to have one in every county, and we are rapidly expanding that. So there's a lot of them, and we
could list them off
we
if you
could
want
list
us
them
to.
off.
They're
I
all
think
listed.
maybe if someone really needed to know if there was a microsite in their area, if their teacher doesn't know, maybe because we have had a lot, that are new. So they could get on that chat and ask, where the closest microsite is to their where they live. They could also call you all and ask that question as well. Are the times pretty much the same at all the microsites?
So we have a customer experience person at the microsite front desk Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4:30. That those buildings can still be used on Fridays. We just don't have it manned, so the teacher would be there to with the key card to open up the door for that. And that's the time that we have an actual customer experience person there, is Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4:30.
Okay, yeah. So so people can come there if they have questions and maybe they don't have a phone, or, for some reason, they can come to those sites. Just like we have our two main sites, right? The two main locations that we have in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and then we have these smaller sites that are called the micro sites. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I say rapidly growing, I'm talking they're opening them as quickly as they can, and they're getting them prepped and ready to have them more and more open as quickly as possible. So keep an eye out. I know that as they get these buildings open, they're also working on getting signage up on them, which is really exciting, so that you're driving by and you see an Epic logo and building. Those microsites are gonna stick out as soon as they can get all that signage on there.
Okay, that's great. Carla, did you have
Yeah,
any questions you would like to ask?
I
We're just
think you
asking
are.
a lot of questions.
No, you guys have done so well. I am just enjoying every minute of this. Let's see. Shanita's got another question for us. Shanita, keep them coming on. I appreciate you. Yeah, she's saying, how does the EPIC program know which teacher is right for my child? I love that question. And I think I'll let, either one of you all, Autumn or Jeff, can you all answer that question for us?
Yeah, so the first thing comes with whichever program that you choose. If you choose the one-on-one program or you choose the schoolhouse program, that will change kind of how the teacher is determined. Schoolhouse is more like area based around quarters of the state, whereas the one-on-one is going to be within a reasonable distance to your home location. Now, if your student is SPED, we have SPED teachers that are SPED certified to teach. We have ELL teachers that are certified to teach students who are learning English as a language, that sort of thing. As for a basic like one-on-one student, it's going to be a teacher within your area that can reasonably arrange meetings in person if it's needed and provide other things for your child. So that's the focus is on an in-person servicer that can be in your area.
Outstanding. Adam, did you want to add anything to that? Or I think Jeff did a great job of answering
Yeah.
that, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what I was going
what
to
we look
say.
for.
I thought he did a great job. Is that it's based on, we have so many great models with Epic, and whichever model you choose, whatever is what program you choose for your child. And as he mentioned, if you're SPED, we have SPED teachers. So it depends on which model. And if your student is a SPED student, that's basically what happens. So, and from you, what we want from you is to be happy with your decision. And exactly, I love how Autumn said that earlier. Once you are with Epic, this is a different model. It takes time, it takes patience for this model to work for you and your family. So we want you to take the time and get patient with this model and get the opportunity to get acclimated to the model. Once that happens, we know and we believe in you, we believe in your student. And so after that happens, you will enjoy the opportunity to provide feedback to your teacher. You will meet with your teacher and you'll give the input that your teacher will need to give the best for your child to do their very best. Okay. So that's what's different and that's what's unique. And that's what we offer. And it's not just a once, I don't know. I used to see, sometimes I would see my when I worked in brick and mortar. I don't know about you, Shawnee. I would see some of my families once a year. But with Epic, we encourage weekly, sometimes daily communication with our families. And so we want you to know that's what it's going to take, whatever it takes to make sure your student is successful. And so that's what we want. So to answer your question, you take the reins. You take the reins as a parent and to make sure that your student is satisfied and happy, and you communicate with your teacher as much as needed so that you can make sure that your students' needs are being taken care of. Okay. So I hope that helps. Now, any other questions? I think one that we have is, can a family bring their own devices to any Epic locations to return? Anybody
Yep.
want to handle that one?
Yep, all of our microsites that have a CXS person there can take those devices at that time. Our admin front desks are also open on Fridays, so if you find yourself in that situation, those are available as well. And that's specifically our Tulsa Logan building location and our Oklahoma City 50 Penn location.
Hey, all right, very good.
We can also get, if for some reason you can't make it to us, we can get you a box and label sent to your home or to return those devices as well. And it's free, it gets to you, and you don't have to pay anything. You just get it back to us. So that's also an option. You do not have to bring it in if you're not capable of, or if you're not able to do that.
I think we hear that or get an email about that about once pretty frequently, right, guys? I'm glad we asked that question. Okay, so let's see. Where do I find dates about things that are happening in Epic? Website, calendar, newsletters?
Yeah, I mean, our website calendar has a lot of information on it. We have weekly newsletters that go out, monthly newsletters that go out from different departments. Our family engagement department sends out newsletters, which has a ton of information about their programs and their activities. So there's those events are communicated in a couple different ways. And so just keep an eye out. And if you have questions about any of those, then give us a call
I
or
just wanted to
or message.
I wanted to tack on there too as well. Like our website has pages for things like the field trips that our family engagement department puts on. And any of like the major typical events you would expect of a school, things like prom, graduations, that sort of stuff will get directly emailed to you as mass communication from the school as well.
Outstanding. Yes, very good. And I got the most wonderful book in the mail recently, The Comet. Did you guys get your Comet? Oh, I love it. So I hope you all received your Comet book out there. And I just got through reading it recently. So another form of great correspondence and communication. So I hope you all enjoyed that. So let's see, what is the difference between the parent portal and the enrollment portal?
So the easiest answer to that question is that the enrollment portal is where prospective students go to fill out that enrollment paperwork. A parent portal is accessible to the parents of a student that's enrolled at Epic, or an adult student of Epic can access that as well.
So current students versus prospective students.
Mm-hmm.
And they're two different, they're two different accounts. You locate
They
them in two
are.
different places. There's two different logins. So that can get confusing, but
Yes.
those are two completely different accounts.
Very good, outstanding. That is a question received a lot, right? Okay.
And you guys can help with both of those questions,
Yes,
right?
we
correct.
can.
Yes, yes.
And you do often. Okay, all right, Shani. Do you have anything else?
Well, let's see. I think Autumn addressed this a little bit a while ago about what was the most common question asked to
Okay.
customer service. Do you feel like there is a most common question that you get the most?
I want to say it really depends on the season.
Okay.
Enrollment season, we're going to get questions on how to enroll. Graduation season, graduation questions, testing. We have prom. We have, different seasons, learning fund deadlines and stuff like that. So really, it depends on the season and what is most prominent at that point. We have the basic questions like, how do I contact my teacher? Things like that. But we get a bunch of different questions.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm
Yeah.
sure
I
you
think
all
the,
get a lot of questions about lots of different things. So I can only imagine how many. I mean, you said you had how many phone calls in the month of January?
We had 4,300.
4,300. So, I mean, you all have a lot of questions coming in. So I can't imagine what we would do without your department. So I'm so happy that you all are there to answer all these questions. I think I only have one more thing that I think I would ask you, and that would be, we do have some caregivers that ask us this question. Do you feel like that customer experience can help with a curriculum problem or a teacher change?
That's going to be any curriculum issues or any curriculum questions really need to go to the teacher first. Then the next step would be to go to the principal. For a teacher change, it's also going to go to the principal. The way I try to explain that question as far as what we can do and what we can't, we are on the administrative side, and so that's more instructional. And there, we do not have access to changing things on the instructional side. So you're going to want to go to your teacher and principal through that.
Okay. Yeah, I know one thing that we remind our caregivers a lot is that you do have correspondence with your teachers, and the teacher's information is always at the bottom of their email. And so there's also the correspondence for the principal and things like that. Just like with any brick and mortar school, you have access to speaking to your principal. So I think that is one thing that you all can help facilitate as well if somebody is just not quite feeling comfortable.
Absolutely.
Or, anything like that. But caregivers do have access to that information from emails from their teacher.
Yeah, but yeah, just like you said. And if you can't find it or you've lost it, then let us know and we will get you in contact with them. I always tell our parents and caregivers, don't wait. So if you're having an issue or if you've got a question or if you're confused about something, what I hate to hear sometimes is that it's an ongoing thing, but it didn't get resolved because we didn't know. And so if you're having an issue, you're confused, you need help with something, let one of us know so that we can help resolve that as quickly as possible. We don't want that to be something ongoing when we could have been able to step in and help with that.
Right. Yeah, we have another question in the chat, and this is actually something that I was asked earlier today. And this is graduations coming up. Are there any programs that can help with the purchase of the cap and gown?
Jeff, do you want to answer that?
So I was just reviewing our graduation page because I saw that question come in. My best advice is to contact our supplier, Herff Jones, at their number and see if they have any way of assisting with the payment of one of those. I know there is sometimes a limited amount of scholarships available for something like that, but typically most families do end up having to pay that $62.50 for the cap and gown package.
Yeah, you can also contact questions about graduation or any events. You can contact our Epic Events team, which is, the email is epicevents@epiccharterschools.org. They have the detailed answers to those questions and how you would go about doing that. So Epic Events.
Okay, so if they reached out to you and asked you that question, you would probably give them to the Epic Events, and then they could ask that question. And they may have more information about that than what we know. So that would be probably a great solution. We did have another question from Shanita, and that was, once you're enrolled, will I need to worry about school supplies of any kind? I know that's going to depend on the different times of the year. So I'll let one of you answer that question.
Yeah, so all of our, like you said, different times of the year, the students that are enrolled prior to the cutoff date in October do get the Learning Fund. If it's after that cutoff date, we're still going to provide technology that you need, as well as curriculum. Most of the work is done online. So if, as far as school supplies go, from what I've seen, those are really supplemental things that parents, caregivers, teachers say, oh, this would be extra, this would be fun, this would help the student. But the core work is done online. So the things that your student is going to need to complete work is going to be available to you.
Very good. Outstanding. Well, we are getting ready to wrap up. We've had such a great time today with the dynamic duel. And I have to say, we just enjoy partnering with you all, we being the Epic development team. You all your whole team gives us great joy. It is such a pleasure to daily work with your team, and your experts bring daily things every day. And we just really appreciate everything you do, led by Miss Holly Perez. So thank you so much for coming on today with us. It has been fun. I hope we have just gotten everything out of you that you can offer us to inform everyone about the dynamic work that you all do, Autumn and Jeff, day in, day out. So again, you all are not just an ordinary customer service team. You all connect. And I think we started this whole entire day explaining that you all do more than just, hello, this is customer service, may I help you? You just wear so many hats. And so I thank you for everything you do for Epic on a daily basis.
Well, thanks for having
Anyway.
us.
Well, and I was
Yeah.
gonna say too, like the Epic development team came in at a time where we had a need for what you guys do on a day-to-day basis, and it was something that the customer experience team just didn't have the hands or the time to be able to fill in. So having you guys here doing stuff like this, reaching out and being available for people with questions about our programs, about enrollment, has been a gigantic help to our department as well. So we really appreciate everything that Carla, Shawnee, Ashley, and Dan provide for you guys and for our school.
Well, good. Thank you. Well, we
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
And
that is
we're a great team.
Yeah,
We work hard.
Fawn said thank you for all of the
Aw.
time and all of the answers today. We appreciate all of the questions that we got in our chat box today. But if you still have questions about anything really, about the
Mhm.
programs or anything that was discussed today, you can reach out to customer experience. Or maybe you're considering about enrolling, you just need more information about enrolling, you can reach out to our team. Again, it's the same number for the main line, 405-749-4550. Our extension for our department is 489, where we can help you with those things. You can also, I put the email in the chat earlier. It's edt@epiccharterschools.org. We're happy to have answered these questions for everyone today, to give you information so that you can make the best choice for your students. And we just thank you again for joining us today. And we can't wait until next week so that we can bring Ask Epic back. So
Yes.
thanks again, Jeff and Autumn.
Bye. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Autumn. See you. Have a great week,
day.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.